Ebusunya for Babu Jama Kwa Bebu, Eba Ghana Politics Avenue. Ahana all the trending political stories in Ghana. On Sabika, Nanya story at the Brem with them, Nedam Sronko. I am Martin Kpebu as a strike bill. Or say, or no, yes, and Nisa Kiseja Bay. Name mum, or evidence, Krata, idea dancer say. Ken Ufuriata, Ebe free Ghana and Nana Kiseja Bay, a away. Now, why not he? Watch him and Nipana free Ghana. Afei na woni no koto won tele su afei na beke kan sema kire Ghana for saa no de eye nada na ono de so won krata wo evidence kire se onimu bi na ono so hihye kire ne de o ma ne nkoda obedi akira kire krata akoma president e de akira akopem se de esese yeye na ese na efata no eti na nka ye ono a anka 1 month kwodi kenufrata baba Ghana mumi nkuti ne nmu aseme ba de akiri bia no.
Okay, or I'm on TV largely due to your influence. Yeah, you've always been the mentor. I remember those days where it seemed like the bar had left you alone. You were the lone voice, the lone lawyer talking. I used to get angry that why wouldn't the senior lawyers join and talk? Why wouldn't the senior lawyers join and talk? Why wouldn't the senior lawyers join and talk? And the next thing I knew, I had joined you.
I remember how repeatedly you would say this to me, and I would say, "Slow down."
Yeah. It's crazy.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Right. So, you used to love your private life,
yes, sir.
And just about now, getting to about 2 years now, you've been shot into this public life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you enjoy it. Do you?
No, not in terms of just relishing it for its sake. No, because it comes with a lot of limitations. That's to say that things that ordinarily I could do, I no longer can. Everything you do, you are watching. Hey, if the public got to know this, how would it fare? So it brings a lot of stress. Right. Yeah, it brings a lot of stress.
Right.
But the motivating factor, like I said, at least I know it means that for some years now, we've been giving you support. Right. So even if the senior lawyers say they won't talk, junior lawyers will talk. And when I say junior, I don't mean like we are junior.
Of course.
Junior in terms of relative to the stalwarts. You know, even now Tadiosori is talking. I remember those days. I call senior Tadiosori. I say, senior, you guys should be the ones talking, because we all know that Tadios is a colossus. Yeah. I went to meet Ace and Kuma when he said he was no longer going to talk. I said, no, senior, even because of your age, certain age bracket, they want to listen to you more than younger ones like us, etc. So, I mean, I'm happy I've joined the crusade. We are building a stronger society.
Even busy. Let's cut to the chase. You went to the office of the special prosecutor, abusing officers, obstructing them from doing their work, and didn't expect that you'll be arrested, because that is an offense, at least under the OSP Act Section 29.3.
Well, Sam, I'm not abusive. No, at all. It's a story that has been fabricated. That's why I came out straight with my version to say what the truth is. Unfortunately for me, you had your reporter, journalist, Fatah Bayarga, right? Yes, and the cameraman. And then also I have two of my lawyers with me. Yes, they were the persons at least who I trust will say the truth. No, I didn't go there to cause trouble. You know what happened? Cut to the chase, like you said earlier. The soldier abused me. He said he will show me in a very menacing manner.
Without provocation at all.
Absolutely, and we'll soon come to the step by step, but I just want to say the core of it. Yes. So can you imagine? I was walking, I was like walking about 5 to 7 meters, okay, with him behind. I didn't even know, so let's put it this way. I walked past the security post for about 5 to 7 meters. Then he called from behind. So can you imagine? Somebody is walking to the reception, then you call him from behind, and they say, next time you come here and do that again, I will show you, and that's from a soldier. And he was pointing his hands and fingers at me. So you see, it was quite threatening enough. Then I said, no, you have no authority to do that. You can't stop me from going out to grant interviews, right? So the next thing I knew, then he said, you're a stupid man. So I looked at it and said, no. So I also replied that he's stupid. I think I had to reply in equal measure, because such an unrepentant soldier, if you allowed it to happen, he would continue doing that. And I can tell you that subsequently, a senior police officer called me and said they did the same thing to him some months ago. And Sami Darko knows about it. That person had coincidentally gone to see Sami Darko, and the soldiers did that. So if it's a lie, I mean, of course, when you mention that there was an incident, and Sami Darko knows. When we say Sami Darko, he's the director of strategy and communications, among others, at the OSP. So that's not it. Do we have time to go through step by step now?
It's curious that such a thing will happen without any provocation, because as we understand from your narrative so far, you had been asked not to conduct the interview in front of, at the entrance.
Yes.
And some of the journalists rather try to ask the officers, why can't we do this here? And you were the one,
say that again,
as you said, told them that they should be calm, so you moved a little away.
Yeah.
Then you finish with that, and you're walking back into the OSP's offices, and the soldier attacks you.
That is it, absolutely. So I'm still a bit traumatized. Yeah, because I was like, this is insane. I'm still a bit traumatized. That is the right narration. So rightly, as you said, so when I came back, I went past the security. The first person I met was a policeman who came and sacked us. And I, as I said, I dutifully obeyed. So, in other words, I think, looking back, when I met the policeman, when I returned in, he didn't say anything to me. I didn't say, I just passed. With hands, I think I expected that he should commend me. That the more he said they should move, I quickly obeyed, moved them, that we should go. Then we went and did the interview where he thought was good.
What we hear from the officers rather is that it is those officers who deserve commendation because you abuse them rather.
Good.
Because they have sought to caution you.
Yeah.
After you had finished the interview and returning into the offices, then they have sought to caution you by saying, please, we don't do that here. And that's what led to, as we have been informed, you stating that you will do anything you want.
Okay.
And then it led into the altercation. And we're being told that you actually used, abusive words, that you could do anything you want. The one who was instructing you was an idiot, and so on and so forth.
Well, it's a complete falsehood. That's a false statement. As I mentioned, so when I returned, I met the policeman first. As I say, I just went past. But I'm saying with hindsight, maybe you should have commended. As you keep narrating a story, ordinarily I greet or I would say something, but as I say, I just went past him quietly. So I went about 5-7 meters. Then now, there are two policemen. The first one, the tall one, said, "You." Sam, that's the way, "you." So 5-7 meters, and naturally, you would want to turn. So I turned, and I saw him. Then he continued. We allowed you to park in this yard, and then you went out to grant an interview. Next time, I won't allow you to do that. Then being a lawyer, naturally, I'll be curious, which law is that? So I said, no, you can't stop me from going out to grant an interview. Of course, let's not forget, President Jefferson, the third president of the U.S., said he prefers a nation or a society with a strong media to a society with a government but no media. In other words, for the media, don't play. I'm going up into a powerful institution. I want to give a few comments for society to be informed what's going on, and you think that's not necessary. So I told him he had no powers. Then he kept quiet. The tall soldier kept quiet. Then I moved further, 2-3 steps. Then I heard, "As for me," that's paraphrasing. Then I turned, and that's the short soldier. Then he said, "As for me, look, next time you come and do that here, I will show you." Very menacing, in a menacing manner. Sam, let me complete the sentence this way. Then I said, "No, you have no powers." Then the next thing, he said, "You're a stupid man." So it's that soldier who started. So what was I obstructing? So remember, I'm going. The man talking to me is behind me, about 5 meters. He's done with me. I mean, he had no need to check me. So he was not checking me, not doing any security checks. I'm 5-7 meters towards the reception. So he calls me from behind. I'm not standing with him and obstructing anything. So, and he insults me. And I think as a lawyer, I should keep quiet. No, we have to stand for our rights.
I get the sense that they may have felt that you would have broken their protocol. Because having been to the place a number of times, just 2 weeks ago, I led a client there, you would find that the protocol there is that once you go inside and you park, you go straight to the reception and you are processed to go to what you have to do before you walk out of the place. So do you think they felt agitated that you have packed inside and you want to go outside and return?
Sam, it's because of situations like this that Article 107 of our Constitution is against retroactivity or retrospectivity. This protocol you are talking about, is it written anywhere there? So to make it simple, maybe you put a, what do you call it, a dashboard or maybe a sign, and then put out the rules that once you enter here, these are the protocols. So make the laws before. So you see, in this case, they failed. And I can tell you that that was my third day of attendance. When I say third, because I'd been there the week before and there the first time, so 2 weeks. So this is the third one. On the 2 previous occasions, that's the same way I packed and went out to grant interviews, came in, and there was no issue. So you can't blame me.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining us, Manasseh.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Right. You would have heard they call it the other side of the story. As far as the altercation at the offices of the OSP on Thursday is concerned, whose report do you believe, if you believe any at all?
What of the Lord? Samson, I think I would believe Martin Kpebu over the OSP at this point.
Why?
In the past, I would not have believed or doubted information coming from the OSP, which is supposed to be a citadel of integrity. In your interview with Martin Kpebu, you mentioned that the Fourth Estate published the report which said that the SML investigation started in 2023. That was an official report from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, which many media houses published. I did not have reason to believe or even suspect that such an honorable office might be lying in its reports. Then, early this year, officials of that office reached out to me on the 29th of January 2025. And the call was to the effect that you petitioned our office to begin investigating SML. We are about to start the investigation, and we think it is proper that we understand the petition. There are some backgrounds you may have which is not in the petition or which may not even be in the documentary, so tell us. So we scheduled a meeting, and that meeting came on the 31st of January. There was a follow-up email from the officer who was leading that charge, the investigation at the time. And this email came to me on the 5th of February 2025. And the email said I should provide them some information for, quote, the preparatory process for the investigation. And it was in line with the fact that they were about to begin. When I saw the nature of the evidence, what they were looking for, this was not, none of the people who were major targets in the investigation was involved. They just needed something from the periphery, which is fair, because when you want to begin an investigation of this nature, you start with the soft spot, at least get some information so that when you are contacting or reaching out to the targets, you know what you have. So that is there. Then I also intercepted a diary of action from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And the first entry on that diary of action taken on the SML matter was entered on the 29th of January 2025 at 12:40 p.m. And it summarizes the story and then the nature of the petition. Then on the 30th of January 2025, there was an entry in which someone who is supposed to be a supervisor says or gives some instruction. and I'm reading that instruction to you. Please proceed with the preliminary, and I'm emphasizing the word, proceed with the preliminary investigations needs and prepare an investigation plan and identify the persons of interest we will need to interview and appropriate departments and agencies to provide information. Samida, who is sitting in your studio, said that at the time Ernest Akori was leaving the country, the OSP did not know that he was a person of interest. This diary from the OSP shows that the persons of interest are identified at the preliminary stages of the investigation. Ernest Akori is mentioned in our documentary as having signed that letter for Ken Ofori-Atta. Ken Ofori-Atta is mentioned. Ernest Akori left Ghana in November 2024, towards the end of 2024, and this was about a year after we petitioned that office. If the office had done any work, it would have identified him as a person of interest. So, Samson, I'm saying to you that it is difficult to believe this office. This is the office. The last time Samida Aku spoke on your show, he said the office had saved $2.7 billion that would have been paid to SML. $2.7 billion translates into 30 billion Ghana cedis. I didn't say anything until he started to say that, well, they uncovered more, and I came up with evidence. And I spoke to the special prosecutor himself, Kisi Ajabeng, on the phone. And I told him that the entire contract sum for the SML, the 5-year contract, was $500 million, a little over $500 million. So where did you get this $2.7 billion from? He claimed that it was in the PPA approval. My argument is, if there was a PPA approval letter, but between the contracting parties, there is an agreement to pay something that is far less than the approval. Maybe you go to PPA, the method was the main reason they went to the PPA. So you say you are going to use a single source method to procure a car that is worth 500,000 cedis. They give you the method, but between you and the car dealer, it is 300,000 cedis. Kisia Jabin told me that Albert Akrubu, who led that SML investigation at the OSP, and Samida Aku think the way you think, but I think differently. But that is even not the case. In my investigation, I had a PPA letter, and the letter did not in any place state the 2.7 billion that Kisia Jabin claimed. And then, eventually, I published the PPA letter and challenged the OSP to also publish which letter they claimed. If you go to the OSP's website now, they have come back to the same figure, the 500 million that I mentioned earlier. So I'm saying this to make a point that if an office of this nature is coming up with information, it is difficult at this moment to just believe everything that they say.
Okay, so holding on there for me, Sami, you just heard Manasseh Azuri. You have attended to their invitation 3 times.
Yes.
That suggests that you are very willing to cooperate in what we have been told is a fact-finding committee to establish allegations you have made.
Very much so. I'm willing to cooperate because I have evidence. I know, at least, as I said, having learned from you, being mentored by you, and now we are in the media, I know that, and being a lawyer, I know that the listener should have his evidence before I say anything. That's why come each occasion they invite me, I go, except the one they couldn't manage to bring the invitation to my notice, and Sami Darko went and lied that they called me 15 times, and I dared them to produce the evidence. They've still not done so. Yes, so that's why I keep going. I have evidence. So by each occasion, sometimes they keep botching it. Is it any wonder that they allowed O.Atta to abscond? Okay? Yeah, they allowed O.Atta to flee from Ghana because they are so incompetent. You know why? We've gone 3 times and we've not finished with it because each time we go, they present me with subordinates to Kisi Ejabin, and let's distinguish subordinates from genius, because I've seen an official statement coming from OSP under the hand of Sami Darko where he said I'd use the word genius. Sam, I'm daring Sami Darko to bring out any tape where I said the officers who meet me are genius. No. I said subordinate to Sami Darko, so even a deputy managing director is a subordinate to the managing director. So far, the first day we met Albert Akrugu, director of asset recovery.
And yes. He recused himself.
Yes, the other 2 were not directors. Then they reconstituted. So the second time, the panel was Abraham Ablo Mensah. He's the chief of staff of the OSP, and then lawyer Albert Paddington. Abraham, chief of staff, he's a subordinate to Kisi Ejabin, the SP, right? And Albert Paddington, the same. So the second time when we met Mr. Ablo Mensah and lawyer Paddington, we said, no, listen. So to make it simple, we have to say, when we say we need something independent, minimum in this context, we should meet the board members. Let's give the information to the board members. Because you a subordinate, the optics look bad. If you find him liable, somebody say, hey, for a subordinate to find the boss liable, it's possible they have a beef.
Right.
If you exonerate him, they will say, oh, but what is to be expected? He's a subordinate. He needs what? Promotion. He needs other perquisites and those things.
So it's obvious that there are no officers within the OSP that you will submit to, except the board members.
Absolutely.
Or the board, currently, it doesn't have a board.
And there will be a board soon. I can tell that from the look of things, their efforts, I can tell, because I don't think 11 months into a new government, nothing has been done. From the way things run, I'm sure efforts are being made to constitute a board. So why this inordinate rush? Yeah, ask me to go and give information to a subordinate. No, it doesn't look good.
Is that I was pained when I heard Kisi Ejabin say certain things that were not true. So, and it had nothing to do with the story we did. It was about he and the office being powerless. So I spoke to all the security agencies, including immigration, and put the information out. If there's any suggestion of theft, the man sitting in your studio responded and said that, look, even your petition, your story didn't link Ken Ofori. It is our investigation that identified Ken Ofori as a key figure. It is our investigation that identified 2.7 billion. You just said 100 million. So that is where this argument went public. And before it went public, I engaged Kisi Ejabin. And if Sami Darko would remember, before we published the SML investigation, I called him that this is what we are coming up with because I recognize collaboration. So he put me, I was at Harvard at the time, and I remember exactly where I was before I made that call. He, myself, and Kisi Ejabin, I said, look, we are about to publish it. We'll come to you, but I know we need to work together. So these are the things I want you to know. I would never give that. When I'm publishing a story, I don't tell anybody, even at Joy when I was there. Sometimes it was only between me and the editor, but I opened up to them. During the investigation, when I was home, I would go to the OSP in the evening. There were times I met the investigation team and the director of prosecution, and we all discussed. I gave them views. So it has never been the case of a theft war. Okay. If there's anything, it is someone who is sitting in your studio saying that I am glory hunting. And he made a similar comment this morning.
All right.
So Manasseh,
thanks.
Nothing to do with
Thanks for the clarity. Thank you very much. Now hold it there, and then I come to you, Sami, and ask.
Yadamu nyina amasi se mwaje bre na motie yi na sadim dika kaya no aha Ghana Politics Avenue. Open all the trending political stories in Ghana. Eheya na unsabeka na enany day dika ya ubacha news. You best also be subscribe to channel no. Na wa like video ni wa share ama afufuro so nya bi. Na fi notification bell na won odo nsa aboso. Sa bre bia na the video new video bia ba unsabetimi aka. Na so what me hu de ekoso ewo Ghana ya manu semu na uso watimi aboho bra. Edamu nyina amase ya Akroma. Bye bye.